over here. That is okay, 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 okay. And that means we have the timer again. Ah, okay. Now we can actually stop the timer. That was setting up layout percent. What did you guys think of that bonus speedrun in your speedrun stream?
That was a pretty good run. You know, one minor mistake, but overall pretty solid.
Could have been on a world record pace, but that slip up. Ah, well. It happens to the best of us. Alright, but with that meme out of the way, and things actually set up in some capacity, how about we go ahead and do this actual interesting run? What do you think?
I can go either way.
Okay, now I just need to remember, do I need to invert my camera, or do I need to select inverted or normal? I always forget which one is technically correct.
I always have them both set to normal.
What does the bomb stew do? Because I know he does it correctly. You know what, I'm just going to roll with it, and if we need to change it in the run, then we're going to need to change it in the run. But our category, as we already said, is going to be new game, normal end, which means we're going to start from a fresh file without any DLC active, go through a couple rounds of actually not killing the time meter, but in the end we're going to kill the time meter, but we're not going to be fixing all of history because we don't have the time for that, and then we're just going to get the normal ending. So
the current language is English.
The current language is English, and that is already set up. We could set the text to Chinese, but I have a feeling I would really murder myself then.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably not smart.
What do you say? Do we get going?
I'm ready if you are.
All right. Count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we have some prologue stuff. I need to go into the library, get the first event, and we want to use the out-of-bounds glitch. Raph, why don't you tell us a little bit about this wonderful out-of-bounds split?
So right at the very beginning in the tutorial area, we're going to get out of bounds by wedging IF between a ladder and some weird piece of geometry. And since she's stuck, the game is going to push her backwards to try to get her unstuck. And we're going to use that to slip backwards and get out of bounds. While we're out of bounds, none of the walls have collision on the outside, so we can just slip back in wherever we want. So we use that to dodge a bunch of the triggers for the tutorials and walk straight to the end of the tutorial. And we're going to be doing that twice.
Let's see how well I can execute it here, because it's really finicky. Some people do it a slightly different way. I like to just use the camera to get her in there. And there we go. That could have taken me way longer, so this is fine. And then we just run out of bounds, run to the event trigger, and live a happy life. And now we get to see if I remember how to press buttons in this game, because this game is the other way around than the other NEP games. After we do this thing a second time. Let's see if I can do it faster. Apparently not. So obviously if you were a world record class person playing this game, then you would know how to do that first try every time. And
or if you're Endeavor Gaming, you throw yourself at the corner for 4 hours.
Enemies here. It's my turn.
And then we just do.
Come on. It's my turn.
There we go. And then the second round, we're going to use Demonic Inferno.
Can you stop me? It's my turn.
Skills are on Y in this wonderful game, so that just kills them all. And we're only 50 seconds behind people. We take that. And then we get into the main gameplay loop of this game and run, which is just accepting missions, walking into Virtua Forest, and walking back out. It's not always going to be Virtua Forest, but it's like 99% of the time it's Virtua Forest.
Right, the first segment of the game is pretty linear. we have to complete a bunch of tutorial stuff to get to a certain point in the story, and from that point in the story, we're going to branch out, and what you can do really opens up. And from there is where we're going to try to grab a couple of things before we have to go and lose to the time meter for the first time.
And we intentionally have to lose, because if we were to win that fight already, then we would get the bad ending.
Although, good luck winning on your first pass through.
That's why we do bad ending on New Game Plus. We're gonna go over here and just see if we get us something. Nope, we only got a life fragment, but so be it.
At the very beginning, we need to try to collect 2 herbs in order to complete a quest later. And it's random whether or not we get them from those boxes. We have a couple of chances to hit them.
And I suck at more out-of-bounds tricks. Also, I should probably move the timer a little bit, because it's gonna hit 10 minutes at some point. There you go.
Not if you go really fast.
No, it wasn't 50, it was 15. It's gonna be worse now, though, after this split. No worry, walk through another dungeon.
One of the more annoying things you may notice when it comes to turning in missions in this game is that the next mission won't spawn on the list until the previous mission has been completed. Which means whenever we turn in a mission, we have to go into the menu, submit the mission, back all the way out, and then go all the way back in order to collect the next mission. It's just a bunch of extra menuing because of oversights in design.
No. And as you saw me stall there a little bit in that dungeon, as I was saying, bird RNG, that one bird can move randomly, and sometimes it blocks your path, and hopefully it doesn't, but if you get into the fight there, the run is basically over, because it just wastes a lot of time doing that encounter there.
That one bird is the worst enemy in the entire game. He is the run killer.
What to accept? Do we already accept those
doggoos? Accept doggoos.
Is it doggoos? Okay.
Yeah, you accept doggoos and you try to collect the herbs while you're out killing the doggoos.
So yeah, I definitely know how to do this game. And I did not get a herb.
This is the world record holder, guys.
Yeah.
He understands this category.
And then I kind of got 5 doggoos first try, because that's how it works. And doggoos are funny though. And then we can go for.
We need to do Elegant Afternoon right now.
Yeah. And so that's what we want the second herb for.
Oh, 2 herbs on the second pass. Good game.
Good runner. And that, I could not retire, but rather accept the next mission. And then around these dungeons, you'll notice that I'm picking up some coins. We're gonna need some amount of money, and also I just missed a bunch of coins. Not everything, but it's gonna be useful down the line to buy some stuff. Also, as
the more you pick up, the safer you are. Each of those medals are about 100 credits apiece, and they are the main source of our money in such a short category, especially since we are avoiding pretty much every fight that we can.
And we're back to Virtual Forest. Because we all love it. Let's see if I can get the little bit of weird geometry over here. It just helps you to not have to walk all around the back there to get up there. It's just convenient. And if you jump straight at it, then you're good. And yes, I am definitely still asleep. I'm so good, I can run this game in my sleep. And then we get Sega transforms. Oh boy.
Here we
Oops.
go.
These do not run into enemies yet. Grab this on the way.
Here we go.
Walk
Nice
right
baseball.
into the event. And then we get to dangerous flying objects. Dangerous flying objects being the name of the next quest that we want to do. Landing in that one, and getting dangerous flying objects. Which just means more enemies in Ventura Forest. And we're going to want to item SP charge on IF, just so she gets a little bit more SP. So we can use her skill.
I'm over here, genius. Anytime.
Because dealing with 5 enemies is stupid.
New power.
In theory, you can get it done with this enemy already, depending on how many enemies you get. We did. Also, we did not get an eject button on our way. Some of the chests that we already got, or like the thing we broke for the herbs, has a very small chance, I think it's 10%, to drop.
It is 10%.
To drop the eject button, and so you save like 20 seconds walking out of the dungeon. No, except rumor has it. And move over to this event. And then we turn in this wonderful quest. And then accept the next one. Because this game has a lot of quests to be done. And as you can see now, this quest had like a little red eye next to it when I accepted it. What does that mean? Right.
Normally, the little red eye means that that quest is about to disappear. There's a mechanic in this game where every quest is timed before you have to restart the loop in order to attempt to do it again. The quests operate on a time loop system. It has a lot to do with the plot of this game, which we really don't have time to talk about, and neither does the game, because going through normal end, you don't really learn a whole lot. We skip pretty much all of the main story beats getting normal end.
And right here we get one of the best Neptunia characters ever. Because Nept tries to save someone, and then just we jam into her with our bike to save her. And that means she travels back in time with us. Or forward. It's forward. From this point of view, it's forward in time.
Forward, backwards, up, down.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
But that was the last mission for the, I guess, tutorial segment of the game. Now the game is going to open up, and it's going to give us a lot more options. We're going to have options to go to 3 other eras of time, and we have a couple of things we need to complete in each of them in order to unlock what will essentially add up to our build in order to complete the main game. We're not actually going to complete any of the plot lines. Completing the plot lines is really only relevant if you're trying to get the true ending in this game, which is why I said that we're going to be skipping most of the story, because we're actually not going to finish a single plot line. We are only going far enough into the plot lines in order to collect what we need from them.
And so we, at this moment, just arrive here, talk to a couple things with the event markers, and talk to a couple trippers. Because even though we skip most of the things, there's still a couple NPCs that we need / want to talk to. because it unlocks certain things. Specifically, what it unlocks for us is that it unlocks the formation. And what does the formation do again that we get?
The formation that we're trying to get is a massive increase to our strength and vitality. And without that formation, we actually cannot kill the final boss with what we do collect. Formations are basically, like the formations in other games, you can arrange your party however you want, but in this game, there are only set formations, and each of them come with a special ability. Since there are no Lily abilities or backlines in this game, that's the substitute. That is the main mechanic for battling.
And right here, I'm going to slip right past the event because I want to grab this chest, which has 2 more SP chargers, and then we can just walk in here. And again, on this specific loop, we're going to talk to one more NPC a couple times, just so we can get that observation level up. As you can see in the top right, it now says observation level 2. And by talking to more NPCs and watching more events, you gradually increase it.
We're trying to get the observation level up in order to unlock certain things later on. The observation level is a hidden background number that you're really not supposed to understand how it works. You're just supposed to see it tick up as you do more things. But we already fully understand what causes what to change and increase that number in the background. And we use specific NPCs to manipulate that number so that we can increase the observation level faster than you would if you were just to play through the missions and not talk to anybody.
And no, that wasn't Mario, that was Mario. Mario, I think, one of the two. It's like, this game never rips off any other gaming franchise at all. That's not at all what this entire franchise is built off and known for.
Yeah, no, like, why would you even say that?
And why would a green guy be player 2? Nah. And then we on the road again. Yeah. And there you also now saw one of the quests now has a red eye. And once we hand in this quest, you're going to find that the other one disappears.
The main mechanic behind the quest disappearing is for every quest that you fail to complete, it makes the boss that you have to fight a little bit stronger. Each quest gives it a new ability or a new set of abilities, and that's to incentivize you doing as much as possible before you go and fight it. However, this first pass doesn't really matter, because if you were to complete the fight on the first pass, again, that would lead to the bad ending, and we don't really want that. We really can't do that. Once we get back around to it, on the second pass, that is when we meet the conditions to do the normal ending.
And nom 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 nom. And then we accept the game gear. And then we go into the Virtual Forest again.
Let's decide on this place.
And as you can see, every time we walk into a Virtual Forest, the layout is slightly different. It's like the whole stick as well, that even though the dungeons exist in the different time zones, or time frames, they're ever so slightly different.
Jump!
I don't need that one. So it's like still interesting even though you're revisiting the same dungeon. You can see how it evolves over time. Like at one point there's a tree fallen over so you can't walk through. And that kind of stuff. It keeps the game a little bit interesting compared to the other, a lot of the other games which still reuse the dungeon assets. And so does this game, but there's actually a couple unique dungeons in this game. Most of which we're not going to see. Though we do get the block dungeon.
Most of the cool dungeons aren't in any of the main categories.
Nah, except Plaid. And Arrival the Dreamcast. Thank you. We're going to the Dreamcast area. And also, if you had a really keen eye, you're going to have noticed that Dreamcast is wearing a blue outfit and has nothing of her signature orange. Except if you're European, then it's going to have looked completely normal to you. But this game is actually localized between Europe and NA. And I need to accept help Nepgear. That in America, the Dreamcast is orange. That's kind of why Orange Heart exists. And in Germany, or rather in Europe, it's just blue. Blue Dreamcast. Best Dreamcast. I'm totally not reading my notes on the side so I don't fail anything. Now we go back to Dreamcast era. Yep. And we also talk to Miss Manuel.
Right, so we're going to set up for the first actual grinding segment. The grinding segments aren't very long. We just have to get to a decent enough level to beat one boss. We need to defeat Dreamcast so that we can collect her, because Dreamcast is going to be our main party member when it comes to beating the final boss. You may notice that we're still level 2, because we haven't fought anything since we finished the tutorial. So we really need to fix that if we're going to take down a boss like Dreamcast. Dreamcast expects you to be around level 20. We're not even going to get all the way to 20.
IF is going to get her weapon, and Segami also gets her weapon purchased and a technique patch. Oh, wonderful, and we go to Sega Saturn era. Because we need to grind. I'm going to drop a safety save, just because I am overly cautious.
Now let's go. Here we go. Yeah.
And these first fights are relatively important, depending on what we get. We might have to farm a little bit more later. Or rather, that's kind of defines how our run goes.
Right, since we're so incredibly underleveled already, these first few fights are very scary and very luck dependent.
Blow is mine.
Well, that was decent for the first one.
Level up.
Yeah, that was really good.
I can SP charge on IF already. Thank you. Come on.
Here we go.
So while we're here grinding, we're trying to accomplish two different things. First off, we're trying to get IF up to around level 16. And the second thing is we are trying to fill the fever gauge. Fever is a mechanic that is exclusive to this game. There is no EXE gauge.
Welcome to the end.
The fever gauge is basically
Should I be?
allows you to take multiple turns in a row and it ignores the boss's turn. It also gives you access to other abilities that we don't really unlock by the time we complete the normal end run.
It's my turn.
So we're going to use that to basically one turn
Here we
both of the big bosses we're fighting in this run.
battle start. It's my turn.
So I'm trying to conserve as much SP as I can and only use it for large groups of enemies, even if it is faster to technically use on the small ones as well. But it helps defeat these enemies quickly. And there's the Fever Star, which I absolutely do not want to collect at this moment, or it will screw everything up.
You're done. Finally, my turn. I did good.
Okay, and level 13, wonderful.
Level up.
And that means that we're gonna go for status, and we're gonna equip your abilities. And then we grind until level 16 again. And I am totally not lost. I usually do this the other way around. There's like a set path of enemies around that you can kill.
It's
That
my
makes
turn.
it relatively optimal.
Come on, let's get this done. You're done. What do we do? Time
No,
to
I did not mean to transform.
transform.
I am stupid. I meant to use a skill. Whatever.
Ah, the Neptune transform.
Yeah, it's
Interesting strategy.
I just came up with that on the spot. It's totally effective.
Some major reroutes.
Yeah, just on the fly. Level 15, so we just need one more level up.
I'm over here, genius. What should I do?
Not should. Yep, that's level 16. And that means that we eject out. And that's a manual split. Then we go into the Dreamcast era. And if I remember my things correctly, we remove IF and NAP. Party members. We remove IF and NAP because they are absolutely useless. And then we're going to system safety save.
Let's get going.
Okay. And then hopefully I do this battle correct, because if I make small mistakes, then it can really cost you this this run, or yeah, the fight. Because it's like, depending on how much you move, your weight gauge fills, and we need every little inch of it.
Leave it to me.
And thus, our preferred order of operations is going to be item, use the int booster on ourselves. Then we transform into Sega Saturn. And then we... do I move behind her first, or do I attack just this round?
Grab the Fever Star, move behind her in the save movement, and then start your attacks.
That was it. Thank you. And that is why I have Respect on here. And charge at the end.
My turn. What should I do?
And that is the
Now,
penis of the...
Even though he's gonna take like 6 turns in a row, killing Dreamcast here is still a damage range. It's a very favorable damage range, but it looks like he got it pretty quickly and easily. It didn't even run out of fever.
Phew.
Why did I start?
That could have
bring it
gone. That could have gone way worse. But
No,
yeah, I totally would have forgotten to grab the Fever Star, which is like the whole point of these battles. But brain.
All right, we've completed step 1 of 2 on our master plan to get the normal ending.
Quest cycling. So some quests you can just accept and retire immediately, and since we do not care about these at all, we just let them get eaten and finish the cycle ASAP.
So we have officially completed our first time loop. And as is tradition, at the end of every time loop, we have to go and prepare to fight the Time Eater. But since we want to lose to this version of the Time Eater, we want to make sure that we're nice and squishy so that we can just get bopped. Which is why we're going to set IF as our only party member, because she can die
Which I
very
totally did
quickly.
correctly.
We cannot have Segami as our only party member, because Segami has an ability that prevents her from being one-shot. Segami will always live on 1 health if she starts from full. And either IF or Segami have to be in the party. This game is very particular about that. One of the two always have to be the active leader of the party. Even though there are 8 other characters, none of them are allowed to be the leader.
Because this is a side game, and side games always focus on different characters.
Sorry, but I need to win. Strength is
And so we die. Rip run.
Bye-bye, IF. And now that IF is dead, we sit through a bunch of cutscenes, and we're going to prepare for the second grinding segment, which is just as long as the first one.
But if we do things right, then this run is over in less than 10 minutes.
So the goal this time is to get Dreamcast and Sega to a decent level. We need to get them to level... We need to get Sega to level 25. And we're doing that because Sega, as you saw in the Dreamcast fight, has the ability to transform into the other Sega Hard Girls. When Sega transforms, her stats are added to the stats of whoever she transforms to. They just stack together. There's no equation or anything, it's just straight addition. Because of that, we can add Dreamcast stats and abilities to Segami's stats and abilities, and together, Dreamcast has a very broken ability. It's where the first attack she does every turn deals massive damage. And using the Fever Star, we can take as many turns as we want if we just take a turn in the turn and then take another turn. So we're going to use that to spam her EXE ability and basically 3 or 4 shot the final boss, depending on how fair the game feels like being.
And I missed a first strike. That's the first one. Surprise attack.
What should I do?
And as you can see, if you don't get first strikes, it's like it really just takes way too long to do anything.
I'm going to gain so much power.
Okay.
Now, let's begin. I can go anytime.
That's 4 enemies. I'm not going to use my SP on 4 enemies.
Welcome to the end. Final blow. Oh, perfect timing. What do we do? Level up.
Okay.
Here I come. It's my turn.
I just said I won't use it on 4 enemies, but for these I will.
My stats are getting better.
But there's also fights where you can get, like, I think 8 is something, one of the fights that you can get.
It's my turn.
The max is 6, I believe. I don't think you can ever have more than 6 enemies in a single fight.
I thought one of the Bits fights has 8.
Here we go.
I might be wrong.
If you get in my way,
I think it's 6 because the Vita doesn't really like the battles in this game.
Oh yeah, this is a Vita game, by the way. And it's still, in my opinion, one of the best. Of the
As long as you're not
Rebirth
playing
games.
it, as long as you're not playing it on a Vita.
it's my turn.
Yeah.
You were level up. Here we go. Woo. Battle start. What should I do? Come on. You were so on level up.
So I give me level 20. And now we do, you get EXP obtain 1. And then we go for the other rest stuff. Come on.
Getting a lot of Uzume redeems in chat.
I know that.
So fun fact, Uzume is in this game, but in this category we never see her.
Except for the end credits.
I can go anytime. Come on.
We stopped the Dreamcast plot line right before we would meet her and talk to her, because really we just go there to collect Dreamcast.
Battle start. It's my turn.
I'm getting close, so I'm going to start using Demonic Inferno. I've not really been getting any of the large fights.
Just level up.
Also, enemy hitboxes extend like into the air forever, so you can jump into enemies at the top there,
Ah, you're here.
which is nice when you're grinding, but when you're just casually wanting to go through the areas, it's really annoying.
My stats are getting better.
Come on.
Here we go.
These walls are really particular about being able to like
Got me. It's
jump
my
on
turn.
them head on only. Okay, level 22.
Stats are getting better. Another one.
And there's another 4x fight, and I am out of SP where I am.
All into come on. Let's get this done. You're done. Finally.
And you can create a match.
So, level up. Here we go. Woo. This is gonna be a breeze. What should I do?
Are you going to be doing the safety strat where you get Segami the extra class level, or are you just going to be going at 26 or 25?
We shall see. We should be fine at 25, depending on how the cycles pan out.
The battle's starting. Stay alert. What should I do? Fall into darkness. Fall into what should darkness. I do?
Also, I need to get to 100 fever first anyway. This way.
Start the battle. I can go.
I would have loved to have Demonic Inferno for this fight, but
What should I do? Final.
no such luck. And there's the fever star, so that's good already.
Finally, my turn.
Yeah, SP is very tight in this category. It's not easy to get it yourself during battle. SP doesn't refill when you leave dungeons or like go back to the library. You have to use items or deal hits in combat. And IF does not regenerate SP very quickly on her own. So really we only have the, like, what is it, 6 or 7 SP items that are lying around that we pick up.
Yep.
Here I come.
Which is why we out of, you're like, ooh, who wants to ban the bot? Oh, Hexy did it, nice.
Disappear.
Just as we're killing
like
bots in game
Christmas.
as well. Yeah, like Christmas.
You're done. What do we do?
And critical edge. It's 24 for Segami,
Here we go.
so almost there.
We also have to be careful. We have to make sure that Segami has enough SP to actually do the final boss strat.
Yes.
But we don't care about Neptune's SP. We can spam her as all we want. She's really only here to help grind.
Finally, my turn. So, I've obtained a new power. Here we go.
Oops, there's another enemy here.
Start the battle. What should I do? Come on.
There's also these gems that pop up in the battles that you can pick up. And if you get lucky, you can get them for extra SP.
Go anytime.
Or fever if you're low on fever. But being low on fever doesn't really happen because you get 100 fever before you get levels. Okay. And then just one more set.
Yeah. I'm going first. I can go anytime.
Okay.
Let's get this done. Final blow. Oh, perfect timing.
And that's 25. Wonderful. Then we eject out. Set as only party member. So party members, you leave. I'll go to the shop and buy a strength booster. One strength booster, please. Thank you. Then we go on to try on, and Segami gets the wishband, which is down here. Wishband is somewhere. There.
Towards
it
the
is.
bottom.
Yeah. Okay, that is that part done. And now we go for the IF event. I'm going to system safety save because I am absolutely not sure. But we should be fine. Unless I do mistakes. Use strength booster first. Do not screw this up.
Leave it to me.
Also, this is the final boss. Don't blink.
We're going to... It's going to be Dreamcast. Thank you.
Get what's coming to you.
And then Fever. And then we Dreamblight Special.
Leave it to me.
Dreamblight Special. End turn.
What should I do?
Dreamblight Special. End turn. And Dreamblight Special. And that kills the time meter and gives time.
Passes the hardware.
Ha! Wonderful. That could have gone so much worse. I am happy with this run.
That was pretty good.
And also, I love the Fever song. It's like the best part of the song's coming up. 1 second. And here we go. Okay, but with that, we're going to skip through all the emotional story at the end and just listen to the ending song because, in my opinion, this game also still has some of the best music in the Neptunia series. But that is up for debate, but I do have this on CD and I am happy about it, so I hope you enjoyed it. In my opinion, it's a really, really quick run that shows off a lot of the strengths that the Neptunia series can have in speedruns. But sadly, what you gonna do? Not much. Because not every game is that good.
Ooh.
And there's Izumi.
We've buyed all the characters that we are totally attached to because we met them and had a lot of memories with them.
Mm-hmm. This CG we actually saw. This one as well. See, we did see some parts of the story. Also reused CGs. And there she's with me. More Uzumi. Nice. Okay, and since I think we do have the time to get the other people to set up, we're going to, nope, we are not going to redo history, but we're going to listen to the opening song, because we missed it earlier. Because technical issues, no, I do not care about saving my save data. I never noticed in the previous CG there was like the phonetic pronunciation of IF. It is officially defined. Alright, thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching. I am going to move over to a very quick and scuffed break screen whilst someone else is going to take over restreaming again. But you shall hear and see a lot more of us as we're getting ready for another wonderful, wonderful race with everyone. Alright, I just need to properly grab the playlist, or a playlist. I know that I still have one saved up. We're speedrunning setting up the break screen, everyone. You know how this goes. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to have this. I just have this wonderful short list of things that is just Neptunia Rebirth 2 OSTs, but you're going to enjoy them now whilst we put up this break screen, which I am going to grab from here. Open original. We're going to save image as, and then we have break swap 1, save. Then we're going to minimize that. We're going to have sources. We're going to create a new scene. Wonderful. Then we're going to add a image. And then we're going to take that as break. Then we're going to browse for that image that we just saved, which was saved as break something. And click on open, and click on OK. Then we're going to swap over to it. And then we just add a little bit of text whilst I shut up.